Hello there, welcome to my workshop. Now this is the second in my series on making this guitar that I'm calling Olive with a dash of walnut, and you can probably see why. If you remember in the last video I inlaid this fretboard, this walnut fretboard, in between the two book matched olive tops, basically because there was a split in the middle and I thought filling it was going to look pretty horrible. So I decided to go for a design feature, which I'm pretty pleased with so far. Now today I'm going to be putting in the control cavity. So I've got the various pots and jacks that I need. I've got my template for creating that cavity, and I've also got a template for creating the inset for the cover plate. Now the only problem with this is it's a bit of a naff template, so I'm going to actually route another one in this block of plywood here. So that's my first job, so I'm going to get on with that. Now you may well ask, if he's got a template already, why is he going to route another one? Now, well, the problem with this is because this is the inlay for the cover, the router bit has to be raised off the guitar body by quite a bit. So in order to do that, I've just packed it with these bits of plywood underneath, but you see they don't actually follow the curve, and trying to line this up is a real pain. So I figure if I cut it out of a thicker block, I'm going to be able to line it up much easier, and I can use this as a routing template to route out the new routing template. So that's what I'm going to do. As usual, I'm going to take a chunk out the middle with this big Forstner bit. I have to change the router bit to do the last bit of this. It's okay. Get this off. If we can get it off. Here it comes. Excellent. Just going to mark up the centre lines again on this template. If I can get it through there. Through there. And then carry it back through the other side. Okay, just get the orientation right. Just double check that. There we are. That's the top. Before I route the cavity, I need to mark the position of the holes, and to do that I'm going to use my template that I've made, and I've got these panel pins which will go through the holes of the pickups there. And get it in. That's that one. That's that one. That one. And that one. Okay, so that's position those. So now I need another panel pin. I'm just going to tap a mark. So here we go. Okie doke. So I'm going to drill those through now with something like a 3mm drill. Okay, so now I've made myself a cardboard template which is the same size as the control recess router template, and in that I've measured and drawn where all the controls should be. So I've got the pickup selector switch there, the volume control there, and this will be the preamp selector switch. So they're all marked on there. I've got the 3 holes in there, so I should be able to then just drop a pin through each one of these holes to align those. Okay, so that is where the cavity has got to be. Now, in theory, I should be able to do a pencil mark there, pencil mark there, join those 2 up, and that is the alignment for my routing template. For this, I'm going to use my trusty routing fixture. Now then, what I need to do is just to raise up the guitar a little bit so that it sits above these paddles on either side. I shall just do those up. It's pretty firm. A clamp on there. Don't think that's going to move. Now I need to get some tape on there. Now, of course, in my haste to get this all fixed up and routed, I've forgotten that I normally use a Forster bit to take out a lot of material first, so I'm going to have to take it to the drill press, and I also need to know how deep I'm going to go, and I've just done that with my calipers. I'm going to go 22mm into the body, and that will leave about 6mm on the top there, just enough for the controls to go through. Okay, so I've routed the control panel, and as usual I didn't get my measurements quite right. I was rather hoping to go for about a 22mm depth. I've ended up with about a 19mm depth, but that's not a problem because I'm going to sink these controls into that cavity a little bit, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just going to put some walnut dust in here and just put some super glue on it just to see if I can fill this gap. I think that's going to look okay, so I'll do that and then I'll just let that set overnight. The super glue and sawdust has set, filling that gap between the walnut and the olive here. It's a bit lumpy, so I'm going to just use this scraper to scrape off the surface, and then I'm going to just sand it down. I'll be honest with you, I've not used scrapers very much, but in actual fact they are quite amazing pieces of kit. I really didn't know what I was missing. My next job is to fit the neck, and I use a single bolt, one of these roofing bolts, with an inset that I put into the neck. Now then, I have a position for this bolt, and that is 45mm from that route line there. Now the problem is, by the time I get to this point in the build, I've lost the centre mark in that neck cavity. So it's always a bit awkward actually trying to get the exact position for that hole. So I think I need a little jig for this, perhaps just a little template with the hole cut in it that can just slot in there, and I just mark it through. It'd save an awful lot of time. So that's what I'm going to do now. I found an offcut of plywood, which is about 12mm, which I think will do the job. And I think the obvious place to start with this is the routing template that I used to cut that neck cavity. So let me position that on the end there. Okay, trying to avoid doing too much cutting, but at the same time getting as accurate as possible. So I'm just going to draw a line there, there and there. Look at that, straight in, and that's a really nice tight fit, just what I wanted. Okay, now I need to do my measurements. I've gone back and forth with the planer quite a few times just to get that down to the right size. I've also shaped the back just to match the sort of dovetail that I've got inside the body there. And now I'm just going to mark the centre line by fitting it back into this template, finding a ruler and then just drawing a centre line across there based on that line there. Okay, that's fitted in tight. My engineer's square across there, and I'll just join that mark up. Okay, try again. Push that into there, push that into there. And there we are, spot on, that's good. So now I can measure 45mm from the routing edge and put a mark there. Use this awl to put that in, there we go. So now I can drill a pilot hole into that, and that will be my guide hole for getting the position of the neck bolt. I'm using a 2mm drill bit because it's about the same diameter as this little panel pin, which will go in and mark the body for me. So now I can insert that template. Put my panel pin in there, give it a gentle tap. And we've got the mark. Back to the pillar drill to drill a pilot hole through the body, and again I'm going to use a 2mm bit. And I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, so now my problem. I've got a pilot hole through the body and I want to extend that through into the neck so I can position the insert exactly. Now then, in order to do that, ideally I want to fix the neck in there and then drill straight through. But there's such a lot of movement on this neck, it's not tightly fitting at all. So what I think I'm going to have to do is use a bit of super glue and masking tape to actually just hold that neck in place while I get that onto the pillar drill and just go through with the drill into the neck. So let's give it a go. Not tried it before, so this is all new. That there. Put that on there. Put a little bit of super glue. Whoops. That's more than a little bit. Let's just spread that round a bit. Okay, should do it. Let's now then, first mistake, that can't extend over the edge. Right, that's done that. Okay, put that into there, so it's nicely seated, and press that down. Now then, I'm going to get a couple of fretboard offcuts to put each side so I can hold this body fairly flat on the pillar drill stand. I've actually found this offcut which is about the same thickness as the fretboard with the frets on it, so I'm going to just tape that onto there temporarily. Okay, I'll be honest, I'm not absolutely convinced that went into the neck at any depth, so I'm going to try and do it again. Just go a little bit deeper. Here we are. I'm sure that went in. Let's see what we've got. Take that off. Yes, we've got a mark. Good. Okay, something to work to. Right, take those off, get rid of that. I'm just going to put the body to one side for a minute and concentrate on doing this insert. Now this needs a 10mm drill, and I need to go in just under 13mm. Need to go in 13mm with a 10mm. Okay, let's sort that out. I've set the depth stop to 17mm, and that's because I need to go in 13mm with the hole, and there's about a 4mm tip on the end of this Forstner bit. And that's it. Now this is the fun part, because I say I need to get this in dead straight, and the camera reveals usually that I'm going in at an angle. So this time I'm actually looking at the screen while I'm doing this. Oops, if I can get that right. So hopefully I can see that it's going to go in straight. Anyway, here we go. Bit of a tilt there by the looks of things. I've got some candle wax on it this time as well, just to make the process a bit easier. This looks like it's going in quite nicely. There we go, let's pull it right in. 1, 2, 3, pull it, there we go. Ah, that looks pretty good. Now then, you'll know if you watched my great guitar build-off guitar that before I dive in with the 9mm drill bit, what I like to do is do a recess so that the roofing bolt sits underneath the body. It doesn't stick out, it looks a little bit neater. So that's a 20mm diameter bolt head. I've got a 20mm Forstner bit on there, and I'm just going to go take it in a little bit. I'm just going to do it by eye. Here we go. It would do if I took the lock off. I think that's going to be enough. Let's just have a quick look. Oopsie daisy. Yeah, I think that's going to be fine. Okay, let's try and fit the neck. Apologise if you can hear the noise, there's howling wind outside, and also we've got the builders in as well, so it gets quite noisy. Anyway, let's turn that over. I'm putting a washer in at the moment just to stop it marking the body. It looks like I can see the thread through there, which is a good sign. Do that up there. Of course, the beauty of using these big roofing bolts is that A, they're easily available, easy to get hold of, and B, you can do it up with a coin, if you've got a coin. Now that is sticking a bit proud, obviously, because I've got that washer on, which I wouldn't put on normally, but I will just to test this. And there we have it, the guitar with the neck fitted. So my next job is to sort out the position of the bridge and make sure that the pickups fit. But I'm going to leave that for another video. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this sort of content, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and I'll be back soon to finish this project. Cheers.